What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, I spent a lot of time just sitting in this chair not wanting to make this video because the last thing I want to do is add fuel to the fire for the Chicago Bulls. But a game reaction is something I always want to try and give to you guys, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. It's not going to be a pretty one, though. Today, we're going to be discussing the Bulls and the Orlando Magic, in which the Chicago Bulls scratch and clawed their way back within a quarter of this game, but ended up losing to a Paolo Banchero fadeaway in the paint, got it to go. The Bulls lose, and Patrick Williams didn't even get a shot up to actually try and win that game for us. Nevertheless, the Bulls lose this game. Let's discuss it in this video. Before we get any further, if you like the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls, the game today, your player of the game, and everything in between. Again, this was an interesting day because, look, the last game against Milwaukee, we came into that game very frustrated, knowing that it's going to be a long season ahead and that the Bulls are playing miserable basketball. They have been playing miserable basketball all season, and it doesn't really seem to get any better all season. We come into this game with Orlando with a bunch of questions and no answers. That's kind of how I feel like when we entered this game. A lot of big news about Zach LaVine took place right before this game against Orlando, and we're coming into this game just kind of thinking about what's going to happen more than actually watching the game itself. I can tell you for a fact, after doing the watch along for this game against Orlando, the people in the chat, including myself, spent more time talking about the trade situations, more time about potential trades of other people, including Zach LaVine, than actually watching this game. Because this game was downright brutal. We lost this game 94-96. This was a brutal game to watch. And yes, the second half of the game was fantastic in terms of coming back. But we scored 33 points in a half of basketball. You see people score 33 points more often than not in the first quarter of games. But we scored 33 points in a half. And this is exactly why I'm on a team rebuild compared to team retool. I'd much rather see the Chicago Bulls rebuild in the near future than retool this team. Because I can't handle a team that doesn't want to work hard for half a game to try and retool with. I don't want to retool with players that don't work hard. And it seems clear to me that a bunch of Bulls players on this team, whether you like them or hate them, whether they're good or bad, whether they have the talent or they suck, they don't work hard enough. At the end of the day, that is the only reason why I'd rather rebuild over retool, except for the fact, of course, going younger I think is a good idea. But anyway, how can I expect the Chicago Bulls team to retool, trade Zach LaVine, who's probably the guy that you should be keeping in a retool? But anyway, retool, get rid of Zach LaVine, bring someone else in, and expect this Bulls team to all of a sudden work 10 times harder than they normally do. I'm sorry, it just doesn't cut it, ladies and gentlemen. This Bulls team is stagnant, does not move, and does not work hard enough. There's only a select few players that I could truly say work hard for the Chicago Bulls. And that's the harsh reality of things. It feels like this team has given up. It feels like this team has lost its hope. It feels like this team has no leg to stand on, and it feels like it's the beginning of the end for the Chicago Bulls. And if we're thinking about retooling, I truly believe in my soul of souls, we're making a grave mistake. Let's not get it twisted. Orlando didn't come into this game fully healthy. Orlando didn't come into this game knowing full well that they have the dominant advantage over the Chicago Bulls. But you want to know the difference between Orlando and the Bulls? Orlando worked harder than us. And although we only lost by 2 points, yes, we had a tremendous fourth quarter. Zach LaVine finally shows up in the fourth quarter. Basically was piss poor all game, but in the fourth quarter, Zach LaVine's there. He makes big shots, and we do come back in the game. We do, and I give respect to the Bulls for that. But I can't give respect to the Bulls for not trying for half a game and trying to come back in another half of a game. I don't care what people tell me. I don't care if every single Bulls player comes to me and says that they worked hard in that first half. Where the harsh reality is, everybody that watched this game can truly see the Bulls were not working hard in the first half. If they want to give up, fine. Give up. That's your choice. You're the NBA players out there. No other choice but you to give up. But if you're going to give up, do it elsewhere. Simple as that. Sometimes I'm thinking maybe it's not just Zach LaVine that needs to go. I think there's a whole bunch of players that is on that list that needs to go in my eyes. It's extremely frustrating to watch this type of game knowing full well all the attention is on the Chicago Bulls in this game. The Zach LaVine story comes out right before this game. You can guarantee NBA analysts are going to be watching this game. GMs are going to be watching this game. Other teams' fans are going to be watching this game, trying to scout not only Zach LaVine, but the Chicago Bulls. And I guarantee you no one liked what they saw if you're watching this from a Bulls perspective. Even Orlando, they didn't come in here playing amazing basketball. They outworked us. Again, how can the Bulls expect to win any game where they're getting outworked on the offensive glass, second chance points, hustle plays, and all of these things they got outworked in? How can anyone expect the Bulls to win these types of games? And the fact of the matter is, it's happening in every single game. We are getting outworked. Maybe against Utah, we outworked Utah, but that was 130 points and the Bulls were just on one offensively. We haven't seen that every single game. It's not consistent offensive performances, and we get outworked every single game as well. Even against Utah, we probably lost the rebounding battle in that department and second chance points and everything in between. So there's a lot to work on for the Chicago Bulls, and I do believe it's the beginning of the end. There are so many people that disappointed me today, but let's start off with obviously Zach LaVine, the guy that has all the attention on him. Zach LaVine came up big in the fourth quarter. We can't deny that. Zach LaVine made 2 big threes in the fourth quarter to tie this game. We can't deny that. But I don't understand why Zach LaVine is having piss poor performances for the first 3 quarters, then showing up in the fourth. It happened against the Bucks. It happens here against the Magic. I don't understand the reasoning for that. Why is Zach LaVine struggling so much? And this draws a couple of things to my attention. Number one, whatever team Zach LaVine goes to in the future, this guy should not be a primary ball handler. I think Zach LaVine could do very well in that Desmond Bane, Klay Thompson type role. With his ability to slash as well, he could be a fantastic off-the-ball player. But every time I've seen Zach LaVine on the ball in the last 2 games, he is forcing his own shots. He's trying to create for himself. He's taking layups over 10 people, and he's missing layups as well. It's very, very frustrating. And again, yes, he did make those big threes, but you could arguably say they're not terrific shot selections as well. Again, I like Zach LaVine. I always have liked Zach LaVine. I probably always will like Zach LaVine. But he's one of those guys that I put into the conversation of giving up. Zach LaVine knows well and truly he's not going to be here this season. He's going to go to a different team, wherever it may be. I doubt he's staying here. He's most likely going to have another month or 2 with the Chicago Bulls, then he's off. He knows where his future's probably going to be, or he knows his future's not in Chicago. So I do feel like, even though he's talked about being a professional, in some ways, he was part of the problem today in terms of giving up. A whole bunch of players were part of the problem today in terms of giving up. So it's frustrating. It is frustrating. And I'm annoyed. And I can't take that back. I can't take back how I feel about this game. It was truly a miserable sight to watch. And I don't know where the Bulls go from here. But I might make a video about, I guess, the whole message for the Chicago Bulls and what I feel like the whole message needs to be. But that will obviously be for another time. But yeah, this game, we fought back in the fourth quarter, which was good. I like the lineup of Alex Caruso, Torrey Craig, Javon Carter, Nikola Vucevic, and I think it was Patrick Williams in that lineup. That lineup that went on a massive run in the end that actually got us to where they're standing for in this game, to actually give us a solid ground to stand on. But this Bulls team, in my eyes, there's no hope left in this Bulls team. And AK, this is a direct message to you now. I've said this all season, but this has to remain true. You find a way to fix it, or you get rid of the whole thing. I don't see a way to fix this Bulls team with retooling. I really don't. I understand we didn't have DeMar DeRozan, and that's understandable. DeMar DeRozan's one of our best players. I get it. I get it. But there's a hard-working problem in this team. Something that one player won't fix. There's a lot of people that need to be held accountable today. What are your guys' thoughts on this game against the Bulls and the Magic? I didn't want to make this video. I really don't like... I don't like being this type of way, but if this is how it's going to be, if they're going to make us endure these types of watch-alongs and these types of games, then the least that they could get is some people putting some heat on them and being held accountable. I even said it. I feel sorry for Billy Donovan. I know he should leave. I know he's not the right head coach, but what can someone do when they're looking at this Bulls team physically give up in front of your very eyes? What can you do in that situation? It's hard. Not easy. I'll end it here. Thank you for watching. Drop a like and a follow, and or subscribe if you are new. See you in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care, and peace.